JGame here, and this time I went searching through my local garbage heap, and whilst I was wafting through the mud, I found gold. That's right, I got another gem. A horror game called Darkwood. Now I'm not a horror guy, because I'm a massive coward, but something about this really spoke to me, and I don't think it gets the limelight it deserves. Now I, being the hipster king, must do my due diligence to hype up this random indie game I had in my Epic Games library for about 2 years, because that's just how the J-Man rolls. So let's get into what it's like to live in Poland. In this game, you are guy with hat. You find yourself stranded deep inside of the woods, where the nicest Polish doctor tends to you. After, you escape and realize that you are in fact in the dark woods. Eventually, you end up in some shack, and that's how the game starts. From here, the game splits into 2 sections, daytime and nighttime. In the daytime sections, you embrace your inner Steve and go looking for resources to help you survive, as well as traders and NPCs to talk to. My personal favorite is Dogman. He's a piece of shit. I love him though. These NPCs will have quest lines or will trade items with you for crafting, with the quest lines giving extremely good loot once completed and helping direct you through the game. Our character wants to find the doctor from the start of the game because he stole our key that leads to the way out of the forest. And who can blame him? I mean, who would want to live here, right? But all this survival gameplay stops once the sun starts to set, because at night, if you're not at home, you're not alive. But even if you're home, you're gonna wish you were anywhere but there, because the woods truly hold some horrors, and you'll never know what might be just outside the door. It's pretty great. This game does survival horror perfectly, and I don't like horror games because I find them scary and boring, but not this game. This was perhaps one of the greatest horror experiences I've ever had. No jump scares, no audio stingers, just pure, unfiltered dread. Darkwood's movement is slow and clunky. The weapons are all made from paper mache. Guns and ammo are scarce. Good luck getting any of that during the early game. Not to mention the enemies don't really drop anything worthwhile. All of this encourages the average gamer to run away instead of fight, which really adds to the horror. Naturally, me being absolute Chad, I monkey-brained all the enemies in every area, making myself pretty broke in the long term. It's worth it though. I can now practice to be the Polish Olympic track runner in peace. This game has 4 main areas: the Silent Woods, the Old Woods, the Meadows, and the Swamp, each one with its own structure and enemies being introduced, as well as new NPCs, each one quirkier than the last. They usually require you to find a quest item, and as a reward you'll get a juicy little drop. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The crafting system. This game has got one of the better crafting systems I've ever seen, and if you know me, you know I hate survival games, crafting systems, all of it. Except Minecraft. How could you hate Minecraft? But anyway, by default you have very limited crafting choice, and if you want more options, you'll need a crafting table. Here you can get things like molotovs, shovels, even guns, but you'll need to upgrade the crafting bench in order to get the better recipes. You do this by using items to upgrade it that you can find around the world or buy off of NPCs. In the higher levels, they'll usually just be world drops, so you'll have to go and look around to find them. It's a basic crafting system, but due to the small number of resources needed, I like it. Unlike other survival games where you need resources from the 4 corners of the earth just to craft a fucking toothpick, this game doesn't really have a normal leveling system. Instead, you can juice up. Juice comes in 4 different flavors: apple, grape, orange, and trend, each offering better ways for you to roid out, but with a major downside at each level. My personal favorite is the perk that lets you eat wood to regain health. Really let me embrace my inner crayon eater. Did you know that pine wood tastes better than oak wood? I'd have never thought. You got 2 machines in each base, the generator and the wood cutter, both requiring you to fuel them with gasoline. These are essential to survival because the generator keeps your lights on so the hell creatures won't eat your liver at night, and the woodcutter will make wooden logs you find around the map usable, so you can repair weapons and reinforce your base by building doors and barricading windows. Trust me, you'll need it. Something I failed to mention is the obvious. It's a top-down game. Now wait, I know that might sound bad, but it adds to the game. You see, you only get a limited amount of vision in the shape of the cone. This means that no matter what, you're always going to have a blind spot. This makes melee combat feel like a frantic scramble, instead of just point click, especially when overwhelmed by multiple enemies. The game map also functions in a way that encourages exploration far better than the AAA put 100 icons on the screen, slap a compass on it and call it a day. No high-tech gizmo map for me. I'll have the napkin with doodles, please. The only things marked down are things you find or get told about, And the only time you know where you are on the map is when you're right next to a landmark, and in that case, it will be coloured in red on the map. This makes it so it's, you know, actually fun to explore, and it's actually interesting because you don't know what you're going to find. It makes new areas feel special, as well as somewhat intimidating because it feels daunting entering these new environments, no idea what's around you in any direction. On rare occasion, there's even puzzles in this game. I mean, I hate puzzles, but I can tolerate them in this game, I guess. The mid. Finding stuff like codes in your environment to unlock saves, crates, stuff like that. It's alright. Enemy types are diverse. You have pit bulls, Grimsby residents, inhuman horrors. Each one has a unique way to attack you. Some people will throw stones, others will swing sticks. Some things will dig into the floor to surprise you, others will just charge at you for the change in your pockets. But there's one thing I will never let go of. It's my pocket change. The game is also randomly generated, so the map layout, codes, and night events will all be different for each person, so no one person will have the same experience playing. The game's atmosphere is probably the highlight of the entire thing. It's a very similar vibe to games like Stalker, depressing dystopian Slavic areas overrun by supernatural elements. Every footstep, every door opening, every single noise is crisp and tense. Like at any moment, something could jump around that corner, but then nothing does. Every moment of this game is tense, and even the slightest noises are capable of making you squeal like a little girl. Footsteps behind you, dog barks, inhuman screeches, all of them. Even a knock at the door can cause unending dread. So simple, yet so effective. The aesthetic of Darkwood is this disgusting, rotted, diseased look. Everything is in a state of decay or corruption. The game's whole theme is nature retaking the land and returning to buildings and people. The woods themselves are characterized both by NPCs and environmental storytelling. Things like campsites, wedding venues, mushroom villages, abandoned barns, and destroyed silos, all man-made structures that have become dilapidated and reclaimed by the forest. The woods themselves seem to corrupt everyone and everything around them, driving people insane and turning them to strange creatures or simply into savages. Makes you feel as though the whole world is against you, because it is. You're fighting not only the monsters that live here, but the woods themselves, because they don't want to let anyone go. They want to keep everyone in the woods so they will slowly become part of the forest itself. This makes the game seem even more hopeless and depressing, with your character being forced to do anything to survive here. Hell, there is literally a part of this game where you eat an old grandma alive. If that doesn't tell you what this game's like, I don't know what will. It's inevitable. Everyone succumbs to the rotten disease the forest spreads. Plus, even the friendly NPCs don't like you, bar two. The only reason they're nice is because they're children and don't know any better. It just makes you feel like despite not actually being alone, you're never going to get any help from these people because they don't care if you make it out alive. Everyone is only looking out for themselves. This just helps to add to the feeling of isolation in the woods. There's a lot of eldritch abomination horror, things like SCP-610, corpses becoming part of tree roots in there. General feeling you have no idea what you're up against, no understanding of the woods or what they want. It's a really isolating and depressing experience. But hey, at least you can get addicted to pills. But Darkwood isn't just depressing and substance abusing. Oh no. After surviving a night, which is a pretty monumental task, you'll wake up and be met with this calming melody. Very reminiscent of Firelink Shrine and the save rooms from Resident Evil 2. It's pretty good, and you get to listen to it whilst you get your next fix of pills, because substance abuse is the ultimate reward. The game does have brief respites, whether it be finding a new NPC's house, getting home just before dark, or surviving a night. It's not all doom and gloom. Darkwood has a story, but it kind of takes a backseat. It's the reason you're there and it's your end goal, but it's easy to get caught up in the exploration, the looting, and the crafting that you'll just forget about it. Rest assured, the game does have a narrative, and it has two different endings, both of which I think keeps the themes of the games pretty relevant and fit well. I'm not going to spoil them, but goddamn, I don't think the game could have ended any other way. In my playthrough, I got the true ending, because I had it spoiled for me by videos I'd already watched. I gotta say, very Dark Souls-like. You know what, I can't resist talking about him. Send that to game theory, losers. Each NPC has their own mini storylines as well. Most of the time, they don't end nicely. Talking from experience. Pretty sure I'm an accessory to murder now because of my boy Wolfman, but hey, you gave me a rifle, so it was worth it. Now, if you're wanting examples of stuff that can go down in this game, I got some stories to tell, so let me set the scene. It was a cool autumn night. There I was, staring into the corner, when all of a sudden, this mysterious light starts shining outside my house and making this creepy noise. How about doors opening in my house? I look towards the door, ready to show them my British fury, only for nothing to be behind the door. Even the smallest things have tension at night after all. Listen, I'm not a coward. You, my viewer, are the coward, because instead of playing this game, you're sat here watching me talk about it. Fucking pussy. One thing I've forgotten to mention is, this game has mushrooms. Too many goddamn mushrooms. I think I've died more times to fungi than I have homeless people and monsters combined. But just like with all problems, there's a solution. It's pills and drip. Only problem is that I didn't get the Tims until I was at the end game, so I had to suffer through this for my entire playthrough. Finally, later in the game, you can go to a new hideout, which is nothing special, but there's a metal door that you can't open inside. It requires a key. Now, I thought I'd find it later on, but one night, I was just doing my own thing, you know, minding my own business. I hear loud noises and crashes and bangs in the hideout, only to find that something had gotten inside the room. I'm not going to tell you what I found, just know that I went in, axe raised, and I wasn't ready for what I found. Darkwood, what a game. It's spooky, it's engaging, and overall, an amazing game. I'd say that it only has a few flaws. It can get repetitive when you go into new areas or having to stop what you're doing to get back home in time for night. But to counteract them, I would simply play for only an hour or two at a time, something I highly recommend for you, viewer. Why? Because I just said so. Are you even listening? Jesus. Now I know what you're thinking, but Jay, is it worth the money?
What?
I have no comment. I had this game lying in the deep recesses of my Epic Games library. I probably got it years ago and just happened to stumble across it recently. But I'm glad I did. And clearly, so are you if you're here this long. It's 15 USD, has tons of replay value, and if that ain't worth your money, I don't know what is. It's not this, don't fall for this like I do. Editing Jay here. It's actually on sale right now, so if you don't have the money for this, what are you doing, man? If you don't have the money, you could always resort to some 7 Seas tomfoolery. Don't worry about it, the devs put it up there themselves. I just want you to buy it if you like the game, which you should. Look, I've already bought my 10 copies of Darkwood. Hats off to you, Acid Wizard Studio. You've made this game with 3 people, a horror masterpiece that will be remembered for years to come. I heavily recommend this game.